Our creative industries drive economic growth, build partnerships and understanding, and strengthen Australia's reputation as a culturally rich and diverse society. Throughout 2017, we explored some of the most innovative and successful contributors to Victoria's creative economy. From blockbusters at the National Gallery of Victoria to artist-run spaces and studios, world-class architecture, livability and design, performing arts icons, the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, the Australian Ballet, film, animation, VR and digital games. I hope you will enjoy our creative tour of Victoria.
ACCA plays a leading role in the cultural community, and in doing so we contribute to a creative economy, a creative state and a creative culture, which also encourages innovation, dynamic thinking, mobility, empathy and community participation.
It's that contrast of the rational with this slightly anarchic and chaotic that sums up the character of Melbourne and shapes the character of Melbourne. It's that element that makes for great frictions and great design in this city.
You might notice about this building that it's effectively an inside-out building, that all the sort of interesting in terms of architecture and space operates internally, and what you have on the outside is effectively 4 elevations, but the real architecture occurs inside the building. So that's where the working occurs, that's where the spaces occur, and that's where the important stuff of what a university and a faculty is all about.
It's only about 12 years ago that the first designers came out of the universities. Having said that, we've embraced it with so much passion that now we have designers that are well known around the world.
And you go and you just go steer around some of the places which has a lot of history, and you smell the history and the spirit. And then you go and you see the design, and the design which brings you the history with the modernity, and the postmodernism is very clear in everything, and that's in many ways represent Melbourne.
A warm welcome to Melbourne Recital Centre. The centre is a very busy and alive music venue. Last year we hosted 600 events, and it's so wonderful to see so many representatives from all corners of the globe, because we present music from all corners of the globe.
The MSO is a cultural ambassador for Australia in the arts. We are very proud of touring around the world. We are also very proud of inviting guest artists from all around the world.
We like the company to look like the Australian population, and that means we have dancers from all different backgrounds and regional nationalities in the company. We have Australian Indigenous backgrounds in the company. We have dancers from all around the world in terms of their background and their family history. And some of the dancers who have trained at the Australian Ballet School have been overseas students but have since taken out permanent residency and are now Australian citizens. So we think of them all as Australian no matter where they came from.
Expanse and the variety of, you can say, the art and creativity which we saw was intriguing, but also a bit of an eye-opener, because we pass through these areas, we don't know, so much of creativity is in the lanes or by-lanes of Melbourne.
Now the studio catered for both domestic and international film and television production of all types. But Melbourne is a very film-friendly city. There's a lot of agreements within the city councils to cooperate and attract international productions.
So we're quite fortunate to work at a space like ACMEX, which is a great creative ecosystem and is a great place to sort of work with different creative teams and collaborate, network and share knowledge.
XM2 aerials we've been operating for about 4.5 years now. We're pushing these drones into Hollywood space, and then this will be the biggest multi-rotor for cinematography applications in the world. And once this is in the air, already I have producers all over the world wanting this in their application.
The Australian government offers great rebates and incentives. I mean, they do a fantastic job attracting production and visual effects to Australia. So we've done both Series 6 and Series 7 on Game of Thrones. We won an Emmy for the visual effects in this. I've been doing this for 20 odd years, and Battle of the Bastards was truly the most complex sequence we've ever worked on any show in that time.
It's wonderful to realise how Melbourne are a hub for innovation, creativity in many areas on digital games and architecture, but we've seen many other aspects of this creativity concerning visual arts, music, etc. I'm really impressed how Melbourne is a new centre for creativity.
The group that you see here is called Opaque Space. Some of you may have heard about us in the media recently as we've partnered up with Boeing Defence Australia and Boeing Research and Technology, which have trained the next generation of Starliner CST-100 astronauts. And I think we represent a good innovation part of Victoria, as we're one of the only companies in Australia that's engaged in astronautical training now. And we've been collaborating with NASA for the past 2 years.
So you are standing in the arcade. We share technologies, we share our international contacts. We now have a very successful, internationally recognised industry, and 50% of the national industry is now based in Victoria, and a large reason for that is because of the support of the government.
Focus on the arts make Melbourne one of the top cities, and that's no exaggeration. I find that the arts and the performing arts are an integral part of our exchange programs and our public affairs program here. But this is important in terms of cultural and cross-cultural exchange.